Hi guys, welcome to the 2017-2018 school year. This is going to be just an example of how I'm going to flip your videos throughout the school year in your class. So I'm going to start by flipping the syllabus. So first up, my schedule. So I have STEM Honors Biology first and second period, I'm on lunch third, and then I have Zoology fourth, fifth, and sixth. My seventh period is currently planning, but it may turn into another course. So a little bit about me. Some of this will be in class. So if you see the bunnies down on the bottom, those are your two classroom bunnies. The chickens above were chicks in the classroom last year. They live at home now, but they'll probably come in off and on when we talk about certain things. And then my iguana that's over here, he also lives in the classroom. That's Zima. And then I have a dog. So I'm originally from Michigan, and I cheer for Michigan sports, and I got married in April, right at the end of spring break. So you may formerly know me as Miss Johnson. It's now Mrs. Wilson. A little bit about extracurriculars. So I coach cheer, so on Friday nights I'm at football games, and then I also coach sideline cheer for basketball. I do have a JV competition team as well, and then I also coach gymnastics in the winter and the early spring. So a little bit about my education. So for my undergrad, I went to Grand Valley State University in Michigan. I also completed my master's at Grand Valley, and I recently completed my specialist at Kennesaw State in December. So there is a new tardy policy this year, so be sure to keep this in mind. So you need to be in your seats and ready for class when the bell rings. You are marked tardy if you arrive late, or simply if you're standing up around the room and you're not in your seat. You need to understand that 3 unexcused tardies are going to result in a referral. The cheating policy is also something really important that I want to go over. So in addition to administration and coaches, if you're participating in a sport, the parents will also be notified if you are involved in cheating. A lot of people think cheating is just on a test or on a quiz, but this is also on lab reports and worksheets. If you have the exact same answers as somebody else, that's cheating because you didn't do the work all by yourself. So this is in the syllabus as well, which is posted on Schoology, but you're definitely going to want to read this over. That way you don't find yourself in this situation. So another question that everyone commonly has is what to do if you're absent. So the first thing you need to do is check Schoology. I usually give a weekly outline, Sunday nights or Monday mornings, for what to expect for the week. So that will give you kind of a heads up if you know in advance. If you have a doctor's appointment or you're leaving early or something like that, you'll know. Then when you get back to class, there's going to be an absent folder in the front of the room that looks similar to that. And there's going to be a paramedic sheet that looks like this attached to any papers that were handed out or whatever you missed. There's also going to be a tray, which is a little bit different than some of you may be used to that had me previously. But the tray is going to be where you turn in all of your absent work, and it must have an absent form stapled to it. Those forms will be by the tray. If it doesn't have that stapled to it, I'm not grading it, and you won't get the makeup grade. So something else that may or may not be new to you is the flipped classroom. So your class with me will follow this model. What this means is you're going to watch video notes similar to this video here on your own time, whether that's on your phone during lunch or after school, before school, at home, whatever, but that's on your own time, and that is essentially your homework. The classwork is going to apply the video content. So if you don't watch those videos, you don't have the notes, you can't do the assignments, the labs, the projects, the worksheets, whatever it may be in class. These videos, just like any other homework assignment, you need to watch them in a timely manner. And the best part is you don't have any more boring days of taking notes in class. So what to expect from class this year, this is just a couple things from surveying previous students. So fun, exciting, awesome, interesting, amazing. It can be stressful, but that's more if you don't study. But I think overall you'll have a really great time. How to be successful. So studying is the largest. That's because the most people said that. You need to study, do your homework, and then if you notice here, watch the video notes. That is the #1 thing you can do to make sure you always have that content knowledge to be successful in the rest of the course. So some things you should know about me that I hate it when you do. You may want to pause this and make sure you read all of these because this is very annoying, and anybody that's had me will tell you that I don't like these things. So the biggest thing, of course, is being disrespectful and talking when I'm talking. I don't like you guys to line up at the door, disrupt class. Sometimes when we watch videos, I let you sit on the counters if you want to, but then people kick them, and that is super annoying. I also don't like it if you say you can't do something. Everybody can try. I didn't say you had to be successful. I didn't say you had to get 100%, but you can at least attempt it. And then you can kind of read through the rest of those. Some additional pet peeves. This first one here is probably the worst because you don't care about your grade all semester and oh my gosh, it's the beginning of December and oh, I'm going to fail or I have a B and I need an A. That's not the time to figure out that you want that grade. You need to work for your grade the entire year, the entire semester. You need to make sure that you are staying on top of things. I'm not going to give extra credit assignments just to help your grade, so keep that in mind. Make sure you're listening to instructions and you know when things are due, and names. Please put your names on things. It is impossible to decipher writing sometimes, especially when you're doing a multiple choice test. I don't know what your circles look like versus someone else's. So if you need to contact me, so my Cobb email is the first thing I have listed. So it's just first name, last name at cobbk12.org. But you need to note that I don't check this after I leave school for the day. So if you have a homework issue or something that you need to contact me urgently, I am giving you my Gmail. And this last letter here is a J. So it's hillmariej@gmail.com. But this is for students only. If I receive emails here from your parents, I'm not going to reply. All parent emails need to go through my Cobb County email address. You can also send me a Schoology message, and you can text me back through Remind once I get you guys all set up with that. But Gmail is the best way to reach me quickly. So next up is going to be your specific course. So since I'm teaching 2 different courses, just kind of skip ahead into your color, and then once you've watched everything in the color for your course, you're done with this video. So first up is zoology. So our syllabus preview, so our semester topics. First semester, we kind of start with an intro. So we have intro, ecology, evolution, things that should be familiar to you from biology. But then we get into the phyla. So porifera are sponges, cnidaria are jellyfish, the worm phyla are all your different worms, and then mollusca are things like all of your clams and octopus and the animals that you're a little more familiar with. Your grading categories, your test is going to be 35% of your grades. Labs and quizzes are 25%. Daily work is only 10%. So notice that tests and labs and quizzes are the most important component of your grade. Projects are 15%, and you will have a final exam worth 15% of your grade. So classroom expectations. I do not accept late work ever, 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 ever. If you had me freshman year, you should know this. I do not take late work. And never miss a test day. Your makeup tests, regardless of whether you were sick, doctor, or you decided to skip, are always going to be in short answer essay format. I don't care the reason. That's just my policy. So if you want the multiple choice version of the test, you need to be there on test day. Dissection participation is required. This is a course where we're dissecting animals. You can't say, oh, this grosses me out, I'm just going to sit in the hall, because you are then going to get a 0 for the lab. And as you saw earlier, labs are 25% of your grade. You're also going to have lab practicals on each dissection, which means you need to know the different parts of the organisms you're dissecting, and you need to be able to show me that you know that on some sort of lab practical. So another note, it's different this year. If you talk to people that graduated last year, you know this. It's not a bunch of movies and videos and a final exam that is one question of what's your favorite animal. So it's going to be difficult for some of you. There's a lot of vocabulary. There's a lot of content. It's essentially anatomy, but about animals instead of humans. So you need to understand this. If you don't do the work and you don't pass your test, you're not passing. And if that means you don't graduate or you don't get your scholarships, you don't graduate. I'm sorry, but this course is a required course. You have to have the science credits to graduate, and you're going to work for it. So what to expect? Lots of vocabulary. Pick a method that works for you. I typically make Quizlets for every unit, so a lot of people use those. We're also going to do lots of dissections, fun technology, and some other hands-on activities. We also take 2 field trips in zoology, which is pretty awesome. So in December or possibly November, we're going to go to the Tennessee Aquarium. And then in April or May, we'll go to the Atlanta Zoo. And you need to note that if you have 5 or more unexcused absences in my class per semester, you cannot go on the field trip. So other helpful information, you need a 1-subject composition notebook ASAP. I don't want rings. I want the composition kind. That way the rings don't get bent, the papers don't rip out, all that fun stuff. Make sure you learn how to pronounce zoology. It's zoology, not zoology. I don't provide gloves for dissection, so if dissections gross you out, make sure you have gloves for you or your group. And make sure you get the Schoology app in addition to just signing up for Schoology, and keep up with due dates. I post due dates in so many places that you do not have an excuse for not knowing when something's happening or when something's due. So your first grade is going to be a quiz grade, and there's 3 things you need to do, which is simple enough. So sign up for the Remind text alerts, which I'll show you on the next page, join Schoology, and upload a profile picture. And then complete the syllabus acknowledgement Google form link. That's also on Schoology. So I would go ahead and pause the screen here. That way you can see what you need to do to enroll. So the left-hand side is going to be your text alerts, and the right-hand side is how to join Schoology. And then you are all set. All right, so for STEM Honors Bio, here's a little preview of what we're doing this year. So we are doing this course in themes. So you will have 4 themes in first semester. So the first one's just kind of a general intro. Then we'll get into chemistry of life, health and disease, and finally central dogma in the gene, which we continue into second semester. We're also going to do a bunch of projects this semester. So your first project is a macromolecule nutrition project, and that'll get started right around the end of August. You'll then do a foodborne illness awareness project, which will start in September, and that will actually be due right after fall break. Then you'll do some models and a biotech research project. So classroom expectations. I do not accept late work, ever. I don't care what your reason is. I'm not accepting late work. It is due when you walk in the door. You can't have your mom bring it to school later in the day or the next day. It's due when it's due. If you're absent, the first place you need to check is Schoology, and then make sure you check the absent folder when you return. You also need to be sure you keep your notebook up to date. You're going to have at least 1 notebook check per theme, sometimes 2, and it's graded on whether you have it or not. If you don't have it, I'm sorry. Even if you did it, and I already checked it at one point, if you don't have it on the notebook check day organized, you're not going to get the credit for it. So what to expect this year? So we're going to do a lot of vocabulary. Pick a method that works best for you. I do make a Quizlet for every theme, so a lot of people choose to use that for vocabulary review. There's also a lot of real-world application of the content, so that kind of helps you guys understand it a little bit better and relate to it. You're going to do some debates and oral presentations, lots of technology, and some other hands-on activities. Other helpful information is you need a 5-subject college-ruled notebook ASAP. Be sure that after you sign up for Schoology, you also download the app and set up the alerts and reminders. That way you know when things are going on. Keep up with the due dates. I post announcements, I send you texts, and I post on the Schoology calendar, so you don't have any excuse for not knowing when something's due. Also really important to note that even if you're absent on a test day, which is the day before, or a test review day, the day before a test, you still have to take the test on the scheduled day. We're not learning anything new the day before, so you're still going to have to take that test. Also, if you didn't know this, you need a laptop, not a tablet, not anything else. You need a laptop, and headphones or earbuds and a charger are also helpful to have with you, and you need to have this with you every day. So your first grade in the class is going to be a quiz grade, and it's 3 simple things. So the first thing is to sign up for the Remind text alerts. The second thing is going to be to join Schoology and upload a profile picture. And the third thing is to complete the syllabus acknowledgement Google form link. So once you join Schoology, you'll see the syllabus. You need to read through this with your parents and then click the link on Schoology to complete the acknowledgement. So this is going to be your final slide. So I would pause it here. That way you can see what you need to do. So this here is where you sign up for your text alerts, and these are your instructions for Schoology. And that is it.